Return to Castle Wolfenstein, or as it's known in military medical records, the leading cause of premature grey hair among my generation, is a 2001 fever dream where Nazis, zombies and experimental war crimes are politely take turns demanding your sanity. This is a game that starts you in a prison cell and ends with you wishing you were still in that prison cell. And for today's challenge, we'll be attempting the impossible, beating this game on I'm Death Incarnate difficulty without dying a single time. Well, wish me luck. We start the game the same way any hero of democracy and freedom would, by murdering an innocent doctor whose only crime was trying to cure someone's headache with a 40k volts to the skull. Having successfully triggered the alarm, I'm immediately impressed by the AI's accuracy. In modern games, they've been flagged as cheaters. We proceed to wipe out a bunch of confused Nazis who don't even know what hit them, and make our escape from the prison. One by one, I mow down enemies Rambo style, make my way upstairs and run into a new type of enemy, an innocent German Shepherd, into which I unloaded half a Mac. What kind of monsters are you? Why did you make me do this? The answer came in the form of bursts from a Schmeisser, which I promptly shoved right back where the sun doesn't shine. I opened the gate ready to relive the old good times of moving down dumb Nazis with an MG42, but something went terribly wrong. Several times. Jesus! Fucking Nazis. And let me remind you, this is a no-death run. No blunders, no errors, no mishaps, no nothing. I die, I go back to the main menu. Doing the same thing all over again, we finally beat the level on the third try and enjoy a couple scenic rides on the cable car. Here you go, brother. We meet up with an agent who leads us to a beer hall packed with crowds, where we lovingly recreate the bar scene from Inglourious Bastards. After turning the place into a bloody mess with a machine gun and linking up with another agent, we receive a special delivery from unsere britischen Freunde and are blessed with what looks like a moped exhaust pipe. But damn, it shreds just fine. Who are you, beautiful? Descending into the crypt, I showered the enemies with a storm of grenades, threw every last one and killed absolutely no one. That's when we are introduced to a brand new enemy type, the undead. After running through the entire maze and pulling every lever I could find, I stumbled into a cramped room with a fire zone. Guten Tag, Flammenscheiße. Fuck, I'm empty. Jesus. Oh, come on. My ass was on fire, literally. Restarting the game and dying a few more times along the way, it slowly began to dawn on me just what I'd sign up for. 8 attempts, 2 hours of gameplay, and I still hadn't cleared the second chapter. I must have played Wolfenstein for over 500 hours as a kid, and I sure don't remember it being this hard. Oh fuck, what am I doing? I'm stuck! Oh! Anyway, next time I met the Flame Boy, I decided to cut the crap and planted some dynamite. Upon resurrection, he immediately converted to Islam.
Allahu Akbar!
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
What the hell? The next stretch of our journey went down without a hitch, until I walked into a very familiar room. I remember those traps. 2 of them were laughably easy and you need about a quarter of a brain to fall for them, but the last one, that one had my hands shaking. I had exactly 1.5 seconds to run in, pull the lever, and get out before a giant stone slab turned me into a pancake. I'm stuck! So I took a deep breath, a cold shower, and started the whole game over again. That's when I discovered a couple of new features in this mod. First, I can pick up chairs. That's it. Second, I can throw knives, which instantly boosts the stealth system from non-existent to barely legal. Shamelessly abusing this advantage, I somehow managed to clear most of the first level without triggering an alarm. Always wanted to play Splinter Cell while playing Wolfenstein. Of course, the lack of alarms didn't stop the Nazis from tearing the castle floor to shreds all over again. Making it back to the crypt, I once again sent the flame bastard packing toward Mecca. I successfully made it through the traps this time, and came face to face with...
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Woo! Reaching the church, we remember our objective. Find Helga von Ballow and interrogate her. What was your biggest beefsteak?
The biggest beefsteak.
But on the way, I stumbled upon the Assassin troops, women with divine bodies wrapped in a tight latex. All my horny thoughts were immediately knocked out of my head, and whatever deep admiration I had quickly gave way to a burning desire to gun every single one of them down. They were carrying a new weapon, but it didn't exactly inspire confidence, so I stayed loyal to my good old stand. Knowing there is a boss fight ahead, and with my ammo scrap in the bottom of the barrel, I decided to search every corner and try to jump across the balcony. There is always a stash hidden there. Next time, I didn't make the same mistakes, used my rifle when I could and saved my SMG ammo. But once I finally reached the boss fight, the game made sure to remind me, this wouldn't be easy. Endless zombie spawns and massive gorilla that wants to violate me, and blinding fast fire your way.
But I cannot see, I'm legally blind.
Yeah, my will to win dropped to just about 0. And my health? Way below 0. I needed a tactic. What? Where are you? Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 not again! Fuck! So I decided to die one more time in the crypt and finally save the dynamite I'd been wasting on the fire zombie, stashing both packages for the big ghoul. 2 tries later the boss was down, and that's just the beginning. Back at HQ, Command reviewed the footage of my disgrace and, after a long meeting, decided to reward me with a personal base. Damn, these modders really went all in. Interesting. Turns out, before each chapter now, we'll get a totally unnecessary briefing from some colonel, and a very necessary and honestly kinda cool gear selection for the next mission. And the next mission? Absolute hell. They drop us out of a plane into a forest where we are supposed to sneak into a Nazi airbase and stop them from launching a V2 rocket at London. 15 years ago, last time I played this level, I remembered how utterly busted the stealth mechanics were. Figuring out the pass that didn't trigger an alarm took what felt like 100 attempts. This time, took me 8 tries to map out the perfect route. Then, like a true professional, I restarted the game, go back to this mission, and clear it in one go. After landing at the base, I immediately started crushing the party, mercilessly moving down soldiers, workers, and even scientists. No one was safe. Reaching the V2 control panel, I hit the self-destruct button, conveniently installed by Nazi engineers just in case someone like me showed up. Fighting my way through waves of guards, I started singing. Maybe the game got easier, maybe I just got better. Nah, everything's just fine. Re-evaluating my behavior, I made it to the airstrip, picked up Nazis like sitting ducks. Whoa! And successfully escaped the base in a stolen plane. In this mission, we drop right into the thick of battle with the goal of locating and infiltrating a secret bullshit factory. As support, we get a whole ass tank, perfect for narrow streets and environments where a Panzerfaust could hit you from any window. Along the way, we rescue some overqualified nerds and immediately lose our tank, which turns out to be made of wet toilet paper. On my 14th attempt, I finally managed to keep the damn thing alive. Time to find that factory. The enemy was relentless. Soldiers were dumping max into me so hard I started considering launching an OnlyFans. Being under constant crossfire seemed to be a mission requirement, and after nearly dying a handful of times, we found the Venom weapon blueprints and stepped onto the factory grounds. Whoa! Motherfuckers. A kick to the balls would have hurt less than this. I hope my next attempt would go better. My next attempt did not go better. Descending deep into the heart of the facility, I entered the actual factory as quietly as possible, only to run straight into... What the fuck is that? Next time I came back here, I was in very bad mood, turning every enemy I saw into fine red paste. But something felt off. It smells like bitch in here. Meet the most dangerous enemy in the game. A walking electric chair with anger issues, determined to sit right on your face. There is no escaping these bastards. Even if you dodge their attacks, they just crash into a wall and fry the whole damn room. The most bullshit enemy I have ever seen. After finally putting the last one down, I cleaned the base of whatever nasty filth remained and found out where Death's head had gone. I headed to Norway, armed with my new best friend, the MG42, and used it to mow down every kind of enemy in my path. What started as a peaceful walk in the park quickly turned into a physical embodiment of explosive diarrhea. The place that almost broke me. Shredding soldiers and scientists was the easy part, but the moment those cages with electric little shits opened, things went straight to hell. Luckily, my trusting MG42 made short work of these jumpy freaks before they could even turn on their creators. But that was just the start. The complex was crawling with them. The only thing missing to make this place a true nightmare was walking tanks. Ah, there they are. I died only once on the way here, and then I reached the end of the level, where I had to fight two proto-soldiers at once. Let me tell you, I have never known such pain and humiliation. 7 times I restarted the entire game just to die in the exact same spot.
Fuck! This is so dumb!
Each time with increasing level of idiocy. Or idiocy. I was this close to throwing my PC out the window, getting a real job and starting the family. 7 full restarts with 0 progress. And you know what? That wasn't even the worst part. Because up ahead was the super soldier. And that meant 5 more restarts. At some point, I started thinking I was the one this lab was experimenting on. But eventually, I did it. After that, I looked like Gollum. I needed a break. Time to rest and recover. 2 days later, I was back on track, ready for anything, and another 20 restarts. Fought my way across the dam, and of course, they drop another stealth mission on my head. Look, I'm just gonna say it. I didn't play fair this one. I wasn't about to restart the entire game because someone rang a bell. I didn't die, and that's what matters. The well-fortified enemy had no idea what kind of hell I've been through, and every pathetic attempt to stop me crashed into an unstoppable force. Moving down Nazis by the dozen, I finally reached the gates of the Castle Wolfenstein, only to be greeted by not one, but two super soldiers. My nerves was already shot and I wasn't about to die. Turns out, I didn't have to. They'd clearly been nerfed, and the 7 Panzerfaust later, both were scrap metal.
Auf Wiedersehen to your Nazi boss.
The missions really did get easier. Nothing came even close to the torment I experienced earlier. I buried half the Reich and 3 proto-soldiers in those caves. Descending deeper, I carved my way through buffed up undead and the last remnants of the Nazi war machine. Until finally, the last level. A deranged woman resurrected a 1,000-year-old gigachat to conquer the world for the Reich. As thanks, and probably hungover as hell, he immediately cancelled her subscription to Use, Beauty and Netflix, handing her a free voucher for eternal undeath instead. I was next in the line, or so he thought. I was ascended, I was unstoppable, and he was the easiest boss in the game. All I had to do was keep moving and dodge his ghostly death farts constantly lunging for my face. The end was in sight. Just a few more shots and this challenge would be over. I'd finally have my life back. Verdammte Scheiße, ich fass es nicht! I refused to believe it. This couldn't be happening, not to me. I was on the verge of a breakdown, but after sprinting through all 5 stages of denial, I took a deep breath, whispered a prayer, and launched into one final run.
Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes!
And that's it. It took me 6 days, 26 hours of gameplay, and 42 attempts to beat the shice out of this game without dying. It wasn't easy at all, but it also wasn't as hard as I expected. Anyway, if you managed to watch this whole video, you are the real hero here, not me. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching. And feel free to drop your ideas for new challenges or just anything you'd like to see next in the comments. I cannot promise I'll survive all of your suggestions mentally. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But curiosity always beats common sense for me. Ciao, cacao.